Hi, I'm Josh, the founder of the Accountability Group. And also, hi, I am Josh, battling the diseases of addiction and mental health. We are now into August, and it is August 1st, even though it is not August 1st, because I've been moving as well as you may know, whether it's from tag Building Hope on Twitter or just you following these videos. You don't realize how much stuff you have until you start moving, but that's neither here nor there. Let's jump into just for today and the August 1st reading. Freedom from guilt. Our addiction enslaved us. We were prisoners of our own mind and were condemned by our own guilt. Basic text, page 7. Guilt is one of the most commonly encountered stumbling blocks in recovery. One of the more notorious forms of guilt is the self-loathing that results when we try to forgive ourselves but don't feel forgiven. How can we forgive ourselves so we feel it? First, we remember that guilt and failure are not links in an unbreakable chain. Honestly, sharing with a sponsor and other addicts shows this to be true. Often the result of such sharing is a more sensible awareness of the part we ourselves have played in our affairs. Sometimes we realize that our expectations have been too high. We increase our willingness to participate in the solutions rather than dwelling on the problems. Somewhere along the way, we discover who we really are. We usually find that we are neither the totally perfect nor totally imperfect beings we imagined ourselves to be. We need not live up to or down to our illusions. We need only live in reality. Just for today, I'm grateful for my assets and accept my liabilities. Through willingness and humility, I am freed to progress in my recovery and achieve my freedom from guilt. That is a really good one, just in the sense that as human beings, we are born flawed and fallible. So we will all make mistakes and continue to make mistakes as long as we are alive, but that's why the whole idea is progress, not perfection. The reason I laughed during part of it is because I operate at extremes, and I obviously have co-occurring issues. So I'm in AA and NA, but I suffer from alphabet Campbell's soup acronyms of mental health disorders. So for me, the reason I laughed is that I don't spend too much time at very high highs, but I'm very good at staying at very low lows. So I use the fellowship and my friendships there and my friendships outside of the fellowship to kind of realize that I wouldn't have all of these amazing people in my life if I was just a giant piece of crap. Excuse my language, but I always put these videos on no kids. So I think we're all adults here. So that's kind of been my strength, is that I've used the character, integrity, quality, and genuine nature of the people around me that still want to interact with me and spend time with me as validation that I'm not as bad of a person as I think I am. Now, I rarely go to the other side of the spectrum. I think maybe I've been over there once or twice where I'm yeah, everything's great, I'm awesome, I have awesome friends, everything in life is going well. I spend a lot more time kind of in the middle or leaning more towards the negative side, but I'd say more towards the middle right now. And when my feet hit the floor in the morning, I'm grateful for another day, another night of sobriety where I'm not waking up feeling like crap or going through withdrawals. And I really like the fact that I'm still alive and that I have the opportunity to do stuff like this. and that I have the opportunity to be present for my friends and for my family. So for me, that's definitely one of the things where, I'm able to shed that layer of guilt by being able to be present for the stuff that, in all honesty, I was not present for a very long time. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but like when you're in use, you have all these like grand ideas and plans and like, oh yeah, we're gonna make these plans, and then all of a sudden, like, the time comes up to when you should be going and doing these things, and you're like, yeah, I'm not doing any of that because I'm gonna go isolate and sit in a dark, quiet place and do my own thing, whether that's in a flop house or underneath a bridge or, even in my own place. That's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, my hope for you is that you never have to do that. And my hope for you is that you're able to shed your guilt and not live at extremes where, you find yourself totally beating yourself up with negative self-talk and self-loathing. And also on the other side of like foolish hubris where you feel like you got it and like you've graduated from AA or NA or whatever program you're working, because that can be dangerous too. So finding kind of like a teeter-totter, finding somewhere in the middle where there's balance is probably the safest bet. But I am not one to judge another person's recovery or how they choose to pursue their recovery. I just know what's worked for me, and that's just been trying to stay in the middle of the fellowship and keep a somewhat balanced life. I wouldn't say it's always balanced, because I still go to extremes when it comes to like my workaholism, which is another ism that I have. But again, my hope for you is that you are able to get rid of or at least some of the negative self-talk, self-loathing, and guilt, and slowly over time being able to completely shed all of that, so that you have the opportunity to truly change, heal, and grow. And it's a process, and it's progress, not perfection. So, be kind to yourself, forgive yourself, and the journey to self-love and self-appreciation is a long one, and it's not easy. I still feel like a cornball when I put my hand over my heart and look in the mirror and say positive affirmations, but I don't know, it seems to have helped over all these years. So anyway, with that being said, please subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and most importantly, definitely comment in the comments section. Whether you're a newcomer asking for advice or needing to vent, or you're someone with time underneath your belt who can share their experience, strength, and hope, and maybe, have this mutually beneficial interaction with individuals where they can take tidbits from you, and you can also be reminded of, that is definitely not a place I want to go back to. Because that's what I'm reminded of anytime I go to a newcomers meeting, which is generally once a week, just so I can just like, it depends like where I'm at during the week, and if I find myself very, anxious, irritable, restless, and discontent, like I'm just like, okay, it is time to go to a newcomers meeting, because it's most likely gonna be a whole bunch of people when I'm looking around the room where I'm like, I remember exactly what that looked like, where I'm like, I don't want to do that. So yeah, so I really do hope for all of you, whoever's watching this, that you're able to shed that guilt, that self-loathing, that self-flagellation, that negative self-talk, and that you are able to change and heal and grow. That is my hope for all of you. So I hope that you subscribe to our channel, like it, and use the comments section very often. And I'm Josh, the founder of the Accountability Group, and I'm also Josh, battling the diseases of addiction and mental health.